It is true, isn't it? When, like, if you don't know a comic and you're like, you don't feel comfortable, you're like, oh, maybe I'll do a joke with them. But when you're comfortable, you set a bar with the jokes, and then he's like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. That's where the bar is.
This is the worst possible friendship I can have, because, like, right, our friendship, we say the most horrific things to each other, both in person, on text. Like, I'm worried if there's ever a leak, me and him are in prison. I'm not talking like a few tweets will be upset. We could go to jail for some of the shit we send.
Luckily, the prisons will be crowded, though, won't they? If that leak is more than just you two, and it is like every dickhead in the country.
Well, I know I've got to say the most offensive thing to make him laugh, or the most ridiculous thing, and you do the same.
Yes.
But you bring race into it, and because you bring it into our relationship, it makes me go, well, that's a hall pass.
Have you all witnessed how the white guy is blaming me?
Oh my God! Well, I don't do this with anyone else.
I'm just going to put my mic down.
I know 3 other Asian people, right?
Congratulations.
And not one of them has ever been okay when I've called them that way.
Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King of Kings.
Thing is, a bit of racist banter is funny, though, isn't it?
There has to be an understanding.
There has to be an understanding. It's
if
funny.
you, for 1 second, thought I actually had any hatred, you wouldn't be sat here. Never mind, okay, in the banter. Yeah.
Intent is everything.
Yeah,
and also, who's listening? Who's listening? Like
the internet.
But we've got one of the cooler bits of the internet, haven't we? Like that's why I was saying I can't wait to do stand up for the Have a Word and like do Have a Word and Friends, like just stand up, because I think all of that late night, like I've heard a word. I think we were talking the other week about starting from -10 if you talk about certain issues, or starting from 0. We're starting from +20. They've listened to 90 episodes of us going blah, 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 blah. They're like, yeah, that's my favourite bit. This is weirdly one of my worries, that they're going to see some of my stand-up that's been developed in front of normal crowds, and they'll be like, oh, it's a bit vanilla. Alfie Brown said it the other week when we saw Alfie Brown. He was like, you're a bit more controversial on the podcast. I'm like, oh, God, I am. I put it on the fairway with my stand-up. You are in the fucking rough round here, motherfucker.
You are very amenable on stage,
right? And I'm a cunt on it. So. Yeah. It's probably not a good thing sometimes. I think.
Do you reckon you'll find yourself doing more controversial stuff on stage when we get back?
I would like to think I will have a different gear for that kind of gig, for a Have a Word
Is there
live
a particular...
show.
Well, I think, like, and forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn at all, I think you will sort of, off this podcast, it's doing well, and we've been talking, and it's worth just parking here for a second, saying to all our new listeners, and especially our old listeners who've been with us from day one, thank you so much for the support. But we've noticed over the past couple of weeks, since we opened the studio, the numbers are starting to snowball a bit, and they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And
it's no secret that we want to be doing stand-up tours, both as Have a Word, and also I do my own solo tours every year, and you're going to be doing that as well. I think you're going to be a lot more yourself, like you are on the pod, on that tour, and doing exactly the stand-up you want to do. But you're also sensible enough to go, on a weekend, people who don't know me, I've got me 20-minute set that I just put on the fairway. And there's nothing wrong with having 2 completely different gears as a comic.
I don't think punters ever consider it, but comics have to. It's being employable.
Absolutely.
Like I could, when there's a gig offered, I can apply for every slot, and I've no ego. If it's the same money, I happily open. I can compare, I can middle, I can close. But I've been doing it 18 and a half years, and the sharp corners get sanded down by just wanting to earn. And I don't do stuff that I hate, but I have edited out stuff that when I've lost a crowd. If you do 5 gigs in a week or 6 gigs in a week, and 4 of them are in front of like, we like comedy, we like Jimmy Carr, and we watch Live the Apollo sometimes, and it's, Gemma's birthday, then if you challenge them, like Adam's different, he's cut from a different cloth. But I think the time that I've been playing to that sort of crowd has just sort of diluted what I do a little bit. And last year sums it up perfectly. I dumped a whole set after we got back from Edinburgh in 2018, and within 4, 5, 6 months, I'd written the swear on your daughter's life bit about the stag do, the smoking bit about how cancer's a bastard, and I'd also got a bit about fighting a child. 3 of my all-time favourite bits of stand-up, and in the end, I shelved them because I was losing 1 in every 3 or 4 gigs, because I would go to a gig, everything was rolling, and I would mention cancer. The joke was it built to something else, and crowds would go, and then I'd say, when people are like, you wouldn't swear on your daughter's life, and I'd get crowds going, that's not funny, you should never do that. Doesn't matter how much I reason with it. And that was a really sad little period. I came back from one weekend in Glasgow, and I remember talking to Scott Bennett going, I'm taking them out and I'm putting them on the shelf for another time, because I am losing gigs here where it's Saturday night and everyone's like, and also then you look at the bill. I'm not working with Adam or you all the time. I'm working with guys who are walking on going, who's drinking? I tell you what, my girlfriend and me, we fucking fritzo. If there's one person in your group and he's another, it's probably you. And then you get on and go, cancer, swearing your daughter's life. And crowds are like, oh, this is mean. I tell you what, I'd love, there's loads of stuff that I enjoy about the podcasting, but after this, moving forward, I would love it if I don't need it to be every gig, could start going, that's the whole set that I really want to do. That is what I'm looking forward to.
But that's what happens with us as comics. You kind of build your following so you can do exactly the stuff that you want to do. But you're right, there's a period where you've got to do the jokes that you know are just going to pay the bills
and also
get you booked.
Saturday night, Friday night, it's 250 quid or whatever. I'm not so arrogant that, but even if you look at, like, this is a bit random, but Radiohead, if you go and see Radiohead on a tour show, they'll play a Radiohead fans show. Then if they're playing the Leeds Festival or one of those, they will play this is the people who aren't as big a fans. That's the gear, isn't it?